Well, the sun's out. That's about the only positive thing I can say about this. But yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with this for a while. And I want to grab some projects that we can work on in the house. It's good because it'll also help me get caught up. And we're gonna get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver, man. Some of you are probably thinking, why did you not shovel your sidewalk? You know, that's because immediately, like the first thing that happened in all this is the snow shovel broke. So that's about right, isn't it? And I really don't know what conditions are like out there. You know, we graded this a little bit, but then it kept snowing the whole time. They have canceled school again, so I don't have to go anywhere, really. We'll worry about this tomorrow, you know? That's what I'm thinking. Maybe, possibly. But we need to get to the super cheap Super Duty, which should be over here somewhere. Because there is something contained in said vehicle that we need to work on for somebody else. And it's another one of those where that's crap, because I've had it for a long time and just never got it done. But that's partially also because I ran into a little bit of a hang up on it. You know how that goes? All right. Maybe the truck will sit out here in the snow and thaw out, you know. It's good that the sun was out today. That helped. Let's fire this rig up. We might see if it'll make it to the end of the driveway. And then if we do that, we might see what the roads look like. All right. But that is neither here nor there. In this here box is a carburetor that came from a friend who wants it rebuilt because it comes off of his 1650, you see. And it was very much a problem, to the point that they had to drill out. They twisted off that nozzle and they couldn't get it out, and then finally they drilled it out and whatever. So this is all I got from him, was 2 halves of a carburetor, missing a bunch of pieces, and then the Venturi. So that's handy. Then what I did was I ordered everything I thought I would need, and it's all in this box. I've had it open. This came from someplace way out west, like way out west. And he had everything. I ordered float, which it didn't have. It's a complete rebuild kit. Just everything, including that nozzle. It's in there somewhere. And the hang up on this, like I've had this for a while now. The hang up was when I test fitted that nozzle that day. That was the first thing I did. I found that it did not really want to go in there very good. And I don't think that's correct. So I'm wondering if it's not the right nozzle. And so you say, well, what do you do? Well, first you put the box back together so you don't lose it. But what my plan is, I have the original carburetor off of our 1655, which ended up it never would run right. And I even tried several years ago and I couldn't get it to run right on there. It's just always had a Zenith replacement for years and years and years. But I want to pull that one apart and see what the nozzle is like on it, and compare and contrast, and then figure out how we can rebuild this for him. Even if I have to use the nozzle out of mine, I'd rather help a friend than worry about that. But this is what we're after, so that's what we'll do. But I'm curious now, will the truck make it to the end of the driveway? Probably in 4-wheel drive, it will. let's see what kind of terrible stuff awaits us. Technically, I have somewhere that I could be tomorrow, an appointment, and if I don't have to cancel it, I'd rather not, but I might have to, because this may not be a good idea here, you know. But we'll check it out. The problem is the temperature, friends, is so cold that even with the sun out, this ain't really going to do a lot of melting. I mean, the ground is cold underneath. And if anything, what it's going to do is it's going to make it a soupy mess. And then it's going to refreeze on top of it. Okay, county snowplow has been out. Yeah, this isn't bad. I mean, this is definitely travelable with the pickup. So it's better than I thought it would be, you know. But still, no school, because that would be a disaster. And people say, hey, why not? You could do that. Well, like, I can't speak for every school corporation around here, but in the one I drive for, there are some really treacherous places up in the knobs and stuff where you wouldn't want to take a loaded school bus and then have to turn around. Some of them have to turn around up there and stuff, and that's not a good idea. So that's why. Also, it's basically only one lane right now with the way they got her plowed. Oh yeah, these are the east-west roads are totally covered, you know. Mine might be a little better because it had a woods on one side, maybe, is the thinking. But basically, a lot of these are only one lane, and that won't fly, because I guarantee you when you meet somebody, they're gonna that just won't work, you know. And the ditches are deep enough that if you get off in it, that's it, you're toast. So that's kind of what I think is happening with their logic, you know. Another day won't hurt anything. The sun, if you can get the stuff scraped down where the asphalt shows and the sun hits that will really help get this melted a little bit, but it's still pretty coated. We could probably come out and scrape some more, but I really don't. I'm really not motivated to do that thing. You know what I mean? I did it yesterday, and I'm done. We'll just make do with this for now. I really don't care if anyone comes to see me, and I don't care to go anywhere, so that's how it's gonna be. Let's just drive the truck down too to where we're going and see if we can get it royally stuck. Now, in order to continue with my plan of what I was talking about, we need to try to get that other carburetor. And I hope I know where it is, and I hope I can get to it. So, son of a Knutson. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on, door. All right, there we go. That should be what we're after. TSX 807. I would love to have more of these because they're hard to find, but I do not. So we will take this one for reference, and then we'll go from there. Anyway. This is inside of my parts warehouse room that I want to finish and never have gotten done. So I need to finish cleaning, do something with this old roofing. You know, every so often people want that for crafts or whatever, so it's a shame to just throw it away. So I'll have to move it somewhere. I also have to try not to break my leg because, geez, that one time I stepped down and I thought something was about to pop. I mean, I don't have, whoop. Sorry about that, guys. I tripped and fell in the snow, but I got you and you should be okay. I think I'm okay too. All right. It's time for our old friend, the ultrasonic cleaner, so we can tackle some of this stuff I've got here. That was actually still in the basket. We never got back to that, so it needs... I wasn't happy with the way it came out last time and was going to cook it again and never got to that. And now after leaving it sit, it's sort of like the dirt sort of collected on the surface in a way, so I'm going to scrape around on it now and then we'll put it back in at some point. But that's the one that is mine, that came off of our tractor for years. In this bag are some other things I want to ultrasonic clean, those wheel locks off that 1250. But we're going to see what we got here and then cook our stuff. But I'm going to try to grab that. Oh, this is such a mess. Everything is crammed in. There it is. I'm not convinced that this piece is right. And the reason I say that is it just didn't want to thread in there by hand. So before I do anything foolish, we're going to take mine apart and pull that nozzle out and compare. Hopefully we can do all this without much sadness. There's his Venturi. These should be identically the same. And this one, I think I even rebuilt it once and it's just not right. It will not run the tractor correctly. So I'm wondering if maybe it needs ultrasonic clean and then it would have worked. I don't know. But unfortunately today we might end up parting it part way out so I can get this guy going, because it's been so long. I really don't want him to have to wait so long for stuff. I wouldn't mind having this going, because actually when we get that 1600 going, we're going to need a carburetor for it, because we robbed its carburetor for the 880 because we were tired of that Zenith that made me want to punch somebody in the throat. Also, I should have got some of those upstairs. I'll bring them down here in a little bit. I've got magnetic trays my brother-in-law got me for Christmas, so we'll do that, because our other magnetic trays that are here are all full of stuff. Imagine that. There we go. TSX 807. Alright. Oh boy. Was that not in there correctly? I question that. I bet that didn't go down in the... That is supposed to go down. Maybe that's why it didn't run good the last time. Maybe it's because I'm an idiot. That's very possible. Alright. Now this looks correct. So, I wonder what we're going to find here. I bet I don't have the right... I bet I don't have all the right stuff though, even if this does turn out to be correct. Boy, this looks right. That looks correct in every way. Okay. Well, friends, we're gonna have some hurdles. And I bet we'll cross those hurdles when we get there. I'm not sure that I have the right load needle now. I knew that this one was probably one with a spring. They sent me a solid one, which I'm not opposed to using, but I have to have a seat at the bottom for it. And I got some stuff, but nothing. I've got nothing correct for that. So I'm gonna have to call him and see if he's still got the bottom. He may just end up deciding he doesn't want to do this after because we're gonna be kind of into it, friends. What I mean is, it's not gonna be cheap by the time we're done. And if we're gonna spend too much money, he'd probably rather just buy the new replacement Zeniths for 800 bucks or whatever it is. See, something's not right in here. It goes in there. Boy, I hate to ruin this brand new piece, but let's see what happens. See there, it's getting too tight. That's not gonna work. I'm not happy with that. And as far as I know, there's no thread tool that I would have. Oh, Knudsen. I can't get that out either. Oh, that's another problem. He didn't give me the screws, did he? These are my screws. That's his. That's his. This is gonna be whatever's. I gotta look in that box, but I don't think he did, so. Oh, they're in here, dum-dum. Okay. So, I got that plug out. Now I can't get it out of the socket. That's about right. What I wanted to do was look down in there and see if I could see anything, but I can't. I can't really see anything in there. I think what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna go ahead and cook this in the magical ultrasonic job. And maybe anything that's down in there that's causing my struggle, maybe it will cook out of there and this will be usable. Because right now, as it looks to be, it looks like I'm not going to be able to use this because I can't get that nozzle to thread down in there. And I'm wondering if he didn't really get all of the pieces of the old one out. Either that or he drilled in there and see down there at the bottom I see a little jet down in there, just like it should. And I see 2 sets of threads with a gap between them, which should be correct. But I'm not sure how aggressive they were getting this apart. And that's going to be the real trick here. I'm afraid that damage was done and I'm not going to be able to get that. So, like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and cook this. Luckily that's still in there. I wasn't sure what was all going to be in here when I ordered the pieces. There's something up in there. The question remains, how much do I take loose, you know? It really would be good to take it all loose, but I don't want to what am I trying to say now? I don't want to lose anything. I need to go get those trays. Oh, that's loose, luckily. Tip of the day, wood chisel. That'll get you fixed up. That, of course, is a replaceable piece that we will get. It doesn't have to be saved because we'll get a different one put in. This we'll take out. I'm gonna put this away too before I get it dirty or ruined, because that was actually expensive. I spent almost $200 on carburetor parts for this project, so if it doesn't fix his, I guess I'll use it on this other one and see if that makes it everything that it ever dreamed to be. I need to get that out. That's not going to be the right screwdriver. Let's get a better one. Let's try this one. Okay, that's going to come out. You can never have too many screwdrivers of all different shapes and sizes. I went to an auction and I bought all the screwdrivers they had. They had them in flats and different things. And you say, well, why? Well, because you can grind them all a little bit different shape or whatever, and then maybe you'll get stuff loose. I think I'm going to leave that one down in there. Let's take this out. Let's see what else. What else do we want to take loose? We'll cook it with that throttle shaft in it. That won't matter. I don't ever take that out. I don't know that that's a problem. No. Okay. I think we got the important stuff. We got the important stuff out. So if we cook these two halves, especially this piece, perhaps it will eliminate whatever is interfering with our threads at the bottom. And then we might be able to participate this project for him. I guess we'll probably leave this here because I don't know how this is going to turn out, and I need to call him and find out. I really need to find out if he's got the load needle with spring and the seat that goes down in there, because I don't have that correct thing. And without that, we're kind of hosed. So if he doesn't know where that is, then I'm going to have to try to do some more internet searching, or I don't know. He may say just pull the plug on the project. I don't know. So that's where we are. I'm going to put this in the dip. I'll probably put that in the dip, and we'll go from there, you know. I know this probably isn't very interesting, but hey, progress is being made, and that's what we're after. I try to make a little progress on stuff, and then some of it you don't need to watch me finish. It's not that interesting. Some of it, it's nice to see the wrap. But you've seen me rebuild carburetors many times, but I don't know that you've ever seen one that had a spring-loaded load needle. That was a thing that they did for some reason, and I would be curious to know if I could get that out of there. See, now I'm sidebarring myself. I think that was my problem last time. I think I accidentally didn't hit the right mark in there, and that's probably why it didn't run good last time. But I don't remember that for sure. But what I'm wondering is if it's going to be a real trick to get that to stay straight again. But I want to get the other needle out that they sent for this and just compare and see if they're even remotely the same length. They might work. That might actually work. It just would be that when you're down, you're down. That would work in there, I think. That's very interesting. So, what it makes me want to do right now is put mine back together, the two halves. See, we're learning here. I don't even know some of this. Whoa, my pin fell way out of the... Maybe I had this apart loosely last time and didn't put it back together right because of whatever reason. I don't remember. I know I was having trouble with it and I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't run right, but obviously there was a problem because it got replaced by the dealer years ago, and Grandpa did have the good thought to say, I want the old one back. So I have a feeling he probably didn't believe him at first that this couldn't be rebuilt, and then when it ran, he just thought, well, I'm not gonna investigate this one any further. I'll just let her go. But we did do the thing that I wanted to do with this, which was verify the nozzle is really the right one for the carburetor body. So that tells me that his has definitely got an issue. I'm going to be taking this apart again to take a picture. I just realized I should have taken a picture for him. If I ask him if he's got it, he's going to wonder. Yeah, I think that would work. So that's good. That's another piece. Like I said, if we have to abandon ship on his project, I don't think I wasted my money, because I think I can make this one as good as it can possibly be, and then we'll use it on another project. But I would like to get his done for him, just because he's a good guy, and like he said, that tractor's been sitting there doing nothing, and it would really be handy to be using it so that it doesn't just go to pieces, you know. It's another one of those that his grandpa bought it new, and so that's how it is. It's always been there, and he wants to get her going. So anyway, I'm going to pull this apart again, only so I can take a picture for him and let him see what I'm looking for, because I'm gonna have all these, everything messed up. No, there we go. All right, so I'll do that. I'll put it in the dip, and then we're gonna call this video here, because there's nothing to see. When it's baking in the machine, it just goes buzz buzz. There's really nothing to watch. So I'll pursue this from here, see what he wants to do, and then, you know, we'll move on to another project. So until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. After watching what you just saw, do you feel like your IQ has dropped lower than your credit score? Well, there's no reason that both of us should be miserable, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. Your banker may not approve, but I know mine will. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.